In this episode, we're going to review some Pokemon cards that we recently purchased from an online estate sale. Will we go in the hole, break even, or make a profit? Find out in this episode of Flippin Ain't Easy. Alright guys, so we're going to take a little closer look at the Pokemon cards we purchased. We've got 36 cards in total, and we paid $23.72 a piece for these. Now these are all hologram cards. I really don't know much about Pokemon or the values of any of these. I know some of them has a hologram on the inside of this little window, and some of them it's on the outside. Is one more rare than the other? I don't know. You guys can put it down in the description. I'm sure you have more experience than I do. But what we're going to do is we're going to just go through what cards we've got here, and then I've got to decide if I want to throw them all together on eBay for sale as one lot or try to sell them individually. My experience with lots is typically you don't get as much money because if any real collector out there, they're just looking for specific cards instead of the lot, and they're sometimes reluctant to purchase a complete lot. So let's go through these. First we've got, and I'll try to pronounce these the best that I can. We'll see how it goes here. We've got Minan, Plusle, Girantina, and this is level X. I don't know if that makes this more valuable or not. Skuntank, Probopass, Lopunny, Infernape. This is a trainer card. Nosepass. Okay, let's take a look at the next sheet here. Now we've got Arceus, Salamence, Beedrill, Stadium Conductive Quarry card, Ampharos, Lumineon, Mewtwo, Happiny, and a trainer card, Potion. Alright, on to the next sheet here. We've got Heracross, Leafeon, Metagross, Zubat, Arceus, Magnezone, Jinx, Noctowl, Hoot, and then to our last sheet of cards, we've got Misdreavus, Seadra, Onix, Gastrodon, Vespiquen, Ghastly, Giratina, Kabutops, and Wormadam. So will we be successful? I don't know, but we're going to throw them on eBay, see what we can get, and then we'll do a recap at the end of how we turned out. All right, guys. So as we had discussed in the prior portion of this video, we bought these cards from an online estate sale, and it was brought to our attention from an online eBay member because we had put a number of these on eBay, not all of them, but the ones that I had looked up and seemed like had some kind of value to them. I put them on eBay, and then someone had reached out to us and said that it was a fake. And to me, if something isn't worth very much money, I start to question, well, is it fake? Why would somebody go through the trouble of making it if it's only worth a few bucks anyways? But what I think is going on is I think people are counterfeiting these, like a whole stack of cards or a whole deck of cards, and then they'll sell them to flea markets and things. And parents and kids that don't know any better will just see them, these packs of cards, and they'll buy them. That's what I think's going on here, because some of these are real, some of them aren't. But whenever the eBay member had approached me, I was kind of, leery about it because I didn't know what the person's intent was by telling me this. So we decided to take them to a game store called IDS Gaming, where they sell loose Pokemon cards. I would say if you go to any loose Pokemon card store, whether it's a comic book shop, a game store, whatever it is, they're probably going to have enough knowledge because they buy and sell them all the time, or they could point you in the right direction just like IDS did for us. And what happened was we took these in, we talked to them a little bit, explained to them what was going on, and they stated that, yeah, they were only interested in a couple of the cards, and they ended up giving us $26 for them, which is just a couple of dollars more than we had paid for all these. So that worked out good for us. We ended up making our money, but the reality is a number of these are fake. And the way they showed us, or at least one of the easiest ways to tell on these pretty much cheap rip-offs, was this way. I've got a couple cards I'm going to show you. So here's the cards that it's pretty noticeable on. Now we've got two different ones here. We've got this one and this one. Now from the front, and especially somebody like me that doesn't really have any experience with these cards, it looks like they're both printed pretty well. Somebody went through a lot of trouble to make these, so I didn't think anything about it. But if we flip them over, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see this a little closer, we can look at the differences on the backs of them. You'll notice that this card has a high resolution background. The letters have a real clear outline around them. The ball looks very nice. Everything looks pretty good. However, on this one, it's not. If we compare the backgrounds, it's very blurred out. The line around the Pokemon, it goes in and goes out as far as the black border. And it's just a very cheap looking card. And actually it looks a lot better on camera than what it does in person when you're looking at it close up. So this was shown to us, and then after you see it once, you can't unsee it, and you have a better idea of what you're looking for. But the problem is here is we bought this from an online estate sale. And literally when we bought this is what we were looking at. We were just looking at multiple sheets laid out inside of these sheets. So the pictures really didn't help us out any. There was no way to tell what was what, and I don't have enough experience to know anyways. So what I would say is, if you're looking at buying Pokemon cards, I wouldn't go to an online estate sale where you're very limited on the pictures. I would want to do something in person. eBay even, I don't know what you're going to get on there. If you don't have enough knowledge about Pokemon cards, you could just as easily get ripped off on eBay as you could from an online auction where, again, you can't see it in person. You can do a lot of doctoring of images on computers and things, so just, buyer beware whenever you go to buy something like this. So what we're going to do, we've got a special treatment just for these cards of how we're going to treat these. And again, we ended up breaking out pretty much even on this auction, so we did okay, I guess. And we learned a little bit. We learned that we're not going to buy any more Pokemon cards from an online estate sale unless it would have to be pretty much free to do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to waste my time with it. But we've got a special treatment that we're going to give to these cards. All right, you guys, up first, we've got Skunk Tank. Next, we've got Probopass. Now we've got Giratina. Up next we've got Infernape. Now we've got Magnazone. Next, Leafeon. Up next we got Heracross. Now we've got Mewtwo. Next we've got Wormadam. Now we've got Giratina. Kabutops. Ghastly. Vespicren. And last but not least, Gastrodon. Okay, you guys, so there you have it. You've seen what we went through on the Pokemon Counterfeit Conspiracy. In all reality, these were probably items that were made, who knows, China somewhere, and they were sold at a flea market to a kid or someone who didn't know any better, just like we didn't know any better. And, you know, the parents just picked them up for them. There's a lot of counterfeit items at flea markets, those kind of areas, so my guess is that's probably where these were sold at. You know, originally I didn't really think that these would be counterfeit just because they're not very valuable anyways. But obviously what's happening is somebody's just reprinting that whole set of cards and then selling them kind of to a mass market, like I said, maybe to a flea market or somewhere like that. But it is what it is. We were able to sell them, make a few bucks, and what we learned from this is we're no longer going to purchase these type of items from online estate sales or online auctions. And the reason why is we just don't have the experience that's required to be able to look at the photos and really tell much about them. And the reality is a photo is just a photo. There's nothing best or nothing better than holding something in your hand and really looking at it and being able to tell what you got. Maybe if we run across some at a yard sale, we'll do something with it, but not online. So I hope this information was valuable to you guys. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, and we will see you next time.